podcasting from Northwest Pennsylvania. You're listening to the Gen Extra Podcast, a show about Generation X, movies, technology, weird news, and anything else they feel like. Join them every Monday morning. Now, here's your host, Dave and Joe.
All right, welcome back to another episode, everybody. Breathe.
Welcome back.
Yes. It is a late evening here in Northwest Pennsylvania and Ohio.
It is in Ohio.
Yeah, Sunday night,
Afterthought.
baby. Yeah, and Ohio. Yeah, Sunday night, man, 9:00.
Yeah, well, the problem was I was in Northwest Pennsylvania for the Thanksgiving holiday, so gotta had to shift our recording schedule around a little bit there.
How far north were you? Did you get hit by any of that snow that came through?
So we only for a couple miles. So
Okay.
we drove in for Thanksgiving Day, drove out late that night, and caught I'd say five plus, 5-ish, 8-ish miles worth of white knuckle bad highway driving on 90.
Oh yeah,
Going back into Ohio. Whew, it was fresh snowfall. It was almost like a hail too, so the roads were super slippery.
yeah.
It was we saw 2 people off the road already. It was just a short period of time, and it was kind of crazy. So yeah, we made it through, made it home. It was all good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you made it. Yeah, because that snow was they said it was coming, and
They did.
But typically in the past, 6-8 years, we haven't seen a lot of snow in late November into December even. So it was I think everybody was caught off guard a little bit by this one. It was a lot.
Yeah, well, we saw it coming. That's why we actually didn't stay the night, because then my family or my wife's family sent pictures the next day, and it was just covered, just slammed Friday morning. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of glad we came back.
Yeah, there was some places I think towards like upper New York, and they were reporting like several feet of snow, 4-5 feet.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's so much snow. They were shutting down highways, in Erie.
When it's early, late November, early December, that's a lot. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that was the last of it for the year.
I wouldn't mind a little, not 5 feet. I don't want 5 feet, but I could do, a few inches of snow. I think I'd prefer some to last winter when we just had nothing. And it's well, you don't get to go sledding. It was so bad you didn't get to do any of the fun winter stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of sad about that.
Yeah, not building, snowmen, nothing. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you, glad you made it home. Hope everybody else is safe. That was, we got a dusting over here. It was pretty much nothing. So yeah, we escaped all of that.
It's been cold.
It's been
colder.
Cold, yeah.
Where we're at.
Yeah. We were just south enough.
And I'm just west enough, as it were.
So anyway, so what'd you have going on this weekend other than that was Thursday. So what else did you do this weekend?
That was Thursday. So on Friday we saw Wicked in the theater.
Yes.
So, okay, cool. Because it was kind of funny because I was thinking about Wicked, and I'm like, oh, Debo's gonna hate this movie. So I don't want to know.
We'll talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about Wicked. Yeah, we can talk about Wicked. I did see since the last episode. I did watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
So on
streaming on Disney. Okay, we got
Well,
we're online here.
I talked about watching it, and I did.
Right, we both did. Yeah, we committed. We both made good on our commitment to actually watch Deadpool Wolverine. I liked it a lot. We'll get into it later. Let's see. We went to on yesterday was Saturday, day of recording. We went to the tree lighting in downtown Cleveland. So, big tree in the heart of downtown, and they have a big, they have a lot of artists and performances.
That's what I was wondering. Did they make a big to-do about it?
Yeah, they had the ice skating rink kind of set up, set up there. We went ice skating. I actually wore my first pair of hockey skates.
Oh, nice. You like the difference?
We talked before. Yeah, I do. We talked before about whether I wasn't sure what I was wearing. Yes, I have been learning on figure skates because they have the toe pick. And yeah, the hockey skates are really...
You found them easier to turn, didn't you?
I found it easier to do a lot of things, and I also found it easier to trust in the ball of my foot because I wasn't worried about toe picking.
Oh, there you go.
That's my problem. If I put my weight too far forward, I'm worried I'm just going to put that toe pick right on the ice and just
eat it.
Snow.
Yeah.
Eat it. Just find it. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. I didn't fall once. It was great.
Awesome.
Lots of people falling around. It's like public skate, right? So everyone's just collapsing. They get out there and they all look like Bambi. And there's arms and legs everywhere. I'm like, the hardest part was just not running over everyone that was falling on the ice.
Yeah. Are you still scared like that first initial step off of the dry like part before you go on the ice?
Funny you asked it. So that has gone away over the past, I would say, I noticed it when I stepped on there downtown. I didn't have the apprehension. And it was the first time. I'm going like, a couple times a week now for lessons. And usually at lessons I get on, you have that first like, and then you're fine. This time, no, I just stepped on. I was like,
oh,
and it hit me. It's funny you asked that because it did hit me. I'm like, huh.
I'm not terrified of this very moment.
Yeah, my legs, there's something instinctually that's not a problem anymore for me to just step out on the ice and just get going. And I have a 6-year-old, so we were off again, on again. He's like, my legs are tired. I need to take a short break. Okay, get off the ice, sits down for like literally like a half a second. He's like, I'm fine now. I'm like, oh my God, why did we even get off? But then you go back on the ice, and I did step right on, and off you go. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I mentioned that was because when I first started playing ice hockey, like I'd been to like open skates like you were doing, just kind of skating around. But I remember the first like maybe dozen times getting on the ice. That was like once you're on the ice, it was fine. But like that first step was always like kind of nerve wracking for me. I'm like, don't eat shit in front of all these hockey players.
I can only imagine that's got to be even more anxiety. Like, if I bid it in front of people in downtown Cleveland, ain't nobody gonna care because everyone was literally just falling. Like they'd take 2 steps out and be like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
I was actually glad I had lessons because I was confident and I actually had the skill to at least navigate around all the people falling around me. So it was like I was confident enough to be like, okay, I can actually do like a 90-degree turn and get around you. Yeah. And I'm not gonna bite it because you bite. I'm not gonna fall over someone because people do. They fall right in front of you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, and you gotta act quick, man. You're gonna run them over.
And I could, and I was like, "This is actually really." I was glad at that moment I took lessons, but it was a lot of fun. We were on the ice when they did the tree lighting, which is great because there's only so many people they let on the rink, so it wasn't nearly as crowded because it was a pretty thick crowd of people down there. I couldn't even guesstimate how many people were downtown. I'm sure there's a news story on it somewhere, but it was a lot of fun. Tree lighting was good. They did fireworks.
Oh, cool,
dude! I would say, and they were low altitude too, and it was in the middle of downtown. So
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It was good. It was okay, they were like right there.
Like it was face.
In your face. Yeah, but it was honestly, they did not pull the stop. I'm like, okay, they're gonna do fireworks, right? And I'm thinking, okay, they'll fire a few off. No, it was a full intensity like fireworks display, and it was really good. I was like, wow, this is actually like impressive. So it was a lot of fun. We were on the ice, skating around, and the fireworks are going off. It was a cool experience.
That sounds
first
really
time
awesome.
I'd ever done that. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked for several years about going down to Pittsburgh to do their they have a big rink and tree down there. So yeah, we should definitely do that. You're talking me into it. We always talk about it and never do it. So yeah, I think we should make it a thing.
Come out to Cleveland.
Yeah, or our daughter's in Pittsburgh, so it'd be nice to go do it.
You should go to Pittsburgh. Yeah, okay. Fine. Yeah. I see family is more important than podcasts.
Like, sorry, Grace, I got to go see Breeze.
Yeah, you do. It's for the podcast, for science.
Yeah, so we can talk about it on the show. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, we're glad you had a fun weekend. What did we do? Yeah, we watched the movie. She was home for the holidays, so we kind of hung out with her as much as we could.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so went to see Wicked and just kind of hung out around here. Did the family things.
To back up a bit before Friday, did you host a Thanksgiving or did you do anything for Thanksgiving or no?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we hosted Thanksgiving this year at our house for Carrie's family.
Okay.
And then we always go into town for my family's in the evening. So we do 2 Thanksgivings in one day.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic, but boy, you're physically just like kind of hurting after for like a day.
That's a lot of intense. Yeah.
I almost don't eat that much in a week. And you pump it all into your body in like one day. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that is.
Yeah, that's what we did. But let's actually jump into, I have a couple stories on here, which we'll get to shortly. Oh, okay. One thing I do want to mention before we talk about Wicked and Deadpool, we were at a local bar, and not a really cool bar, not like a dive bar. It's actually in Titusville here, and they were having this 90s concert night with this really cool 90s band, and which, by the way, was very fun. It was a cool evening. the problem that happened there was not the bar's fault. They actually handled it very well, but somebody had too much of something.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And all of a sudden we saw this like crowd forming, and somebody had collapsed into like a seizure, and then they started delivering CPR. They did stop the band for like a few minutes while they dealt with that, but then they kicked the band back up, and it was like I'm in the back and I'm kind of watching all this happen. So I'm seeing the band playing in front of me in this whole sea of people just having the best time. And then off to the right, I see ambulance lights outside the windows, and I see people surrounding this person as they're, I'm assuming, not dead. But it was such a weird like contrast between the left side of the room and the right side of the room.
Gosh,
it was odd to see. I'm like, how is it like there's someone's like potentially like on death's doorstep over here, and the other half of the room is like, whatevs, just party, like let's hear some TLC. It's like,
oh my gosh. And did they? Oh, geez, that sounds. And from your vantage point, probably looked really weird.
It did look really weird. Yeah, it was odd to watch. Yeah, so I don't know for sure, but we know someone that works there, and they said they didn't hear anything, so they're assuming that they are okay. They said they're pretty certain if they didn't make it through that ordeal, that they would have all heard about it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they would have. Well, a lot of times it is just a matter of and they could pass out to too much heat, like if it's a crowded room. Oh well, I'm hoping you're right. Most likely everyone's okay in the grand scheme, because you're right. You probably would have heard about it if they weren't. But that's whew.
Yeah. I think someone mentioned something about Narcan. I'm not sure what that's used for.
That's an overdose drug, I think.
Well, there you go. There you go. All right.
Narcan, yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the club actually has some on hand.
They did. Yeah, they did.
Oh, well, see, there we go.
They did great though. They were on the spot, and they were very attentive. And
I don't think about that. But you had a venue like that. Those are the kinds of things that you kind of have to have contingencies for that kind of crap.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like, you can't control the people that come in your establishment.
But you don't think I don't think about that, right? I'm not a small business owner. I'm not, I don't own a club, unfortunately. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, like, the stuff you got to prepare for. It's more than just like, you have to have the state mandated like AED defibrillators and crap like that for a public space. You got to have like Narcan.
So many exit doors, and probably have to have some like EpiPens, on hand, and shit like that.
Wow. Yeah. Intense.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was kind of a, it was like once it was all over, I'm like, all right, I'm like, okay, that's done.
Interesting 90s party. Hey, go chase some waterfalls,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
90s music.
All right.
Good stuff.
So Wicked, Breeze.
Wicked.
Okay.
It's so funny. I'm actually shocked you saw it. I really, really am. I saw this on our idea board, and for a listen, I thought I put it down because we had seen it, and I'm like, we just I add it on my phone all the time for ideas, and I'm like, I must have already put this down there, and I found out right before this that you put it on there, Dave. So you had seen Wicked. So I really didn't think.
Do we?
I want to hear what you.
Do we need to give a spoiler alert? Are we going to spoil anything?
I don't. I mean, Wicked's been on stage.
It's a biggie, but it's been on stage so many times. I've never seen the play, and I didn't even know.
I have.
I didn't even know what the story was about. So, which I will also say, yeah,
fascinating.
So if you, let me just explain what the movie is. Yep. So again, going in this blind, I had no idea. So Wicked is basically the origin story of the Wicked Witch of the West and the East from the Wizard of Oz. And most people probably know that. Again, I didn't. I had no clue. I just thought it was some story about the witch, and that was that. But yeah, so there you go. So now if you didn't know what it was, now you do. But anyway, so continue, Breeze.
No, I was just going to say, so the show went on Broadway back in 2003.
Yeah.
So it's actually about 21 years old. So that's why I would say we probably don't need to spoil too much for our listeners, because it's
a huge movie right now.
Well, it's a huge movie. It was a huge play. It was a huge stage performance. So I did see the stage performance in Cleveland about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm familiar with immense, but I was a theater guy too. So you knew about Wicked.
Yeah, my wife saw the play. She knew the story. She knew all the songs. Again, I had nothing. I knew nothing about this.
So what was it like for you? Because my wife and I were talking about this because we took our entire family, including our 6-year-old. Mm-hmm. Interestingly, our 6-year-old who has never seen The Wizard of Oz. So he had less context because at least you've seen The Wizard of Oz. Oh, yeah. So we were literally summarizing The Wizard of Oz to him on the way to see the movie because we didn't know how much context you would need to have for it. And
there would be some little Easter eggs that I saw in there that would make sense, but wouldn't it wouldn't really make the movie any worse if you didn't know. But no, okay, I'll give you my point of view as not knowing what this was about. Mm-hmm. I actually rather enjoyed the movie. And
really,
I did. I really liked it. I thought Ariana Grande was fantastic. She was really funny in the part she played, whatever the witch is called.
Glinda.
Yes. Glinda. But no, she was great. The girl that played Alspa, what's her name?
Elphaba. The eventual Wicked Witch, yes.
Yeah, she was fantastic. Like they casted her perfectly. She was great. I don't know how they did the green face, but that was impressive. Like, I don't know if she had to wear makeup all the time or if that was like something they did like post.
I actually kind of wanted to look into that because that's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Thinking like that'd be horrible for like probably a several month shoot, a year.
Yeah. I would suspect that given modern technology, they probably were able to just do that without makeup.
They might have been.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. They might have been on a green facer. But yeah, so my wife laughed at me afterwards because she was asking the same thing. She's like, "So what'd you think? What'd you think?" I'm like, I could have done without all the singing.
That's why I thought you would hate it.
So I just don't. Okay, I enjoyed it. I knew it was a musical.
That's good.
I could have done with less singing, but I could have done with no singing. But I appreciated it because I knew it had to be that way. You can't do this movie based on a play, based on the Wizard. Like, it's a musical. But I would have enjoyed the movie like way more if it was just the movie, like just the story. I don't need like singing. I don't need to hear you singing exposition or singing your thoughts and whatever it may be, singing what you're about to do. I don't like. It gets on my nerves in that kind of in the movie like that. So I don't. How did you feel as a fan of that genre? Like, did you enjoy all the singing?
So I did. There's a couple things that I enjoy. One, I agree with you. First and foremost, I agree. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo were fantastic. Like I was surprised. I actually don't know a lot of Ariana Grande's music. The stupid dad joke in me was like, wow, for a last name like Grande, she's really small.
Yeah, she was a teeny little thing, isn't she?
She's a very diminutive person. I did not realize how small she really was.
I gotta say, I think she even got like, I think she's lost weight. And she was already like a petite little thing.
You were the third person that mentioned that to me in like as many weeks. She's a very small person. I think she's a vegan.
Maybe.
Which
I was gonna say she's gonna eat a hamburger or two or something.
Well, I think she's vegan, so maybe that actually might be contributing, right? Like it probably, depending on what you do or do not eat, it's probably hard to maintain a whole lot of weight. But body is what it is. She's either way, she's small. Like she's just a small frame, regardless. But I was impressed. I was actually impressed with her acting ability.
She's great, dude. She's been in other stuff too.
Yeah. But this is the first time I've seen her. I didn't know what her acting, because when I see a movie like this, I'm like, okay, well, first of all, they're casting them for singing first. Right, you have to for something like Wicked, because if you're going to be doing singing, you really should cast the voice first, because it is a musical, to your point. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't always translate to good acting, right? There's lots of good singers, and this is true on stage as well. Lots of phenomenal singers who probably couldn't act their way out of a cardboard box. It's not exactly a part and parcel skill set. You don't always get one with the other. So it's cool to see, and like her facial expressions, like nuanced acting, right? Not just your lines and everything else. But like the way her face responded, her eyes would dart around the room in the appropriate way. Like it was good acting. Mm. And I actually, so as a fan of it, and as listening to the Broadway recording and the original cast members, which the original cast member for Elphaba was actually Idina Menzel, who voiced Elsa in Frozen.
Oh, okay.
Along with a Broadway actress. And so she was Elphaba on the original Broadway cast. I actually like this person, Cynthia Erivo, better. I think she brought a better vocal range to the character. There's something about it. Like her personification, her characterization of Elphaba, the green, quote unquote wicked witch. I think she nailed it. She was way more. I was way more engaged into the film version than I was in the stage version. Way more.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it was because of the characterization. I think it was a little bit less Broadway-y, if that makes sense, and a little bit more relatable, a little more human.
Well, I think with anything Broadway, they got it. The cheap seats got to hear you too, So,
Very good point.
In a movie, you can be more intimate and not have to say everything at level 10. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. Bringing it down to a movie volume, to a movie intimacy. Good point. Liked it a lot. I liked how everything translated. The spectacle was phenomenal in the movie. I really liked it. It was really, really enjoyable. I'm actually kind of with you. I think there could have. I think as a whole, I think the story is strong enough that you could probably cut the songs in half.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be a good compromise.
I think and this is a, plug your ears if this is spoilers for you, but again, it's a 21-year-old show. I'm assuming most people who are going to see it are somewhat familiar with it, but except for you, Dave. Mm-hmm. But the Defying Gravity song towards the end of this movie is one of my, that needs to stay. There's certain songs that need to stay.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the big numbers. I could tell what the big numbers were.
Right. Yeah. Which ones those are. I think they probably could have pared it down but then you would have had I think your core audience would have been,
they would have been pissed. The big fans would have been disappointed. Yeah.
Because they want to see all of that translate there.
But it's the ones where it's for me as a a stupid audience member who's never even seen the play, when they're just singing what they're like why don't we go over here? Yep. And I'm like, why are you singing this? You don't need to sing this at all.
Just go. Don't think about it.
Yeah, does not need to be funny. A music number right here.
That's too funny. So the two things I do want to bring up about this. One, I didn't realize going into this that this was Wicked 1.
Oh yeah, it is a part 1. Yeah,
they didn't market it that way. Not that I knew of. It was just
Wicked. Yeah. Well, I'm it said in the very beginning is part 1. It wasn't even you had to wait till the end to find out.
But not when I bought tickets.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I respect it because they didn't cut anything is the point. They stretched the whole thing out. And it does end where the act 1 of the stage production ends. That's the curtain.
Yes, I heard that too from my wife.
That's cool. The other thing I heard, and I respect the hell out of this, is that the two leads insisted on singing live on camera as opposed to pre-recorded. And it shows. To me, it shows. My wife, who is a musician and a singer and was a vocal director, she's like, that made such a difference. And you can tell they were singing on the set as opposed to pre-recorded. She goes, and it just brings a different level of energy. And I'm like, I completely agree.
It's not even just the energy, it's the emotion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not, I mean, it still sounds, it sounds great, but it's not studio polished. It just, it feels raw and real, and it's awesome.
It does. So I respect both because from what I read, they both pushed for that against the director who wanted to do it pre-recorded and in studio, and they're like, "No, this is what we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we sing.
We're live performers. It's fine.
Yeah, it's Ariana Grande. I think she can manage it. Yeah. She sings in front of concerts of thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah. So without spoiling this, I want to ask you, and I'm going to tell you here in a second. Did you cry at any point during this movie? Excuse me?
No.
Were you a robot?
I know the show. What am I saying? I know the show.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, sorry, there weren't.
I guess you're not in touch with your emotions. I thought you might have been. All right.
I'm a cold-hearted, dark-souled, stone-cold killer. No.
Yeah, I had to do this.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
All right, just hang on. I'll see if you can guess it first. But no, I do.
I don't want to guess because I don't want to spoil it. But I definitely I can guess where you're going with that. But I
can keep it vague enough. I'm not going to ruin anything for anybody listening. So I'll just say the part that I had to like sneakily wipe tears away from my face was the scene with the hat in the dance. Okay, yep, you got it. All right.
Yeah, that was so well done, and that's something that actually that didn't work on stage. That wasn't really captured at all because it wasn't intimate enough, right? You didn't execute it that way on stage. You can't execute something like that on stage.
No, the cameras pull you in. You can feel the emotion in the eyes and
the silence. You would never have that much silence in a Broadway show,
right?
Never. And the silence did it, and it's exactly what I thought. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Very good. Again, I already kind of knew the beats, if you will, so I wasn't exactly caught as much. But yes. Very, very good moment. No arguments there.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you haven't seen Wicked, definitely I recommend it even as a non-musical fan. Fair warning though, it is like a 3-hour runtime or something like that. It's pretty long.
It is pretty long. Absolutely. And it's gotten some criticisms for how long it is. But yeah, it's very good. And the fact that both you and I like it. Yeah, it's 2 hours, 40 minutes runtime. So buckle up.
Yeah, that's from both sides of the spectrum. The
really
fan and the person who's seen it versus someone who's never seen it. So yeah,
that's really cool. Really good. See, we offer a very unique perspective here on the Gen Extra podcast.
Yeah. So I would watch it again, and I'll say that is one of my rankings for movies, which is the rewatchability factor. I would definitely watch it again.
I'll definitely watch it before I go see Wicked Part 2.
Oh yeah. So all right, well, let's jump into. We'll do. This is not older, but it came out earlier this year. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, yes.
It just came back on my radar because it showed up on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally watched it.
It did.
And so did you.
Yes, that it did. And I will say without spoil. So I will say that it has transformed the way that I listen to two different songs.
Oh,
Bye by NSYNC.
Yes.
is now amazing.
Right.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then Madonna. I'm blanking on the name of the song.
Sing it for me. Go ahead.
What is the song?
Take you there. Yeah.
Midnight Hour. What is the name of that song?
The Midnight Hour? Is that it? No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Like a prayer.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Like a Prayer by Madonna. Okay, sorry. Anyway, Like a Prayer by Madonna and NSYNC Bye. It's transformed those songs for me. I can't hear the songs anymore without picturing Deadpool Wolverine. So I'm going to lead with that. Now it's your turn. Give some feedback, and then I have some additional feedback.
Yeah. We don't need to spend 20 minutes on this one.
No, we do not.
But going into this movie, I've seen the Deadpool movies. I've seen most of the Wolverine movies. Like I saw Logan, and I just got to say, like, they didn't disappoint me. It was a fun ride the whole way through, and the story was really fascinating. They came up with a good story, a good plot. It was definitely cool. The one thing I'll say is, well, they didn't hold back on like cameos and like people showing up throughout the movie.
Oh my God, hold back. Dude, this was like cameo extravaganza.
It was a lot. It was funny though. The one cameo I really wish they could expand on, maybe in another movie or something, but I would love to see more of Laura from Logan.
Yes. Daphne, I forget Daphne something.
I don't know.
What's his name? She's good.
Yeah, her character in Logan was awesome. Now she's like, I don't know what, 10 years older, but she's so good. Like she's an interesting character. And I think it'd be really cool. It'd be cool to see more of her storyline.
Yes. I think that'd be pretty awesome. I think there's something there. I think she's actually, she was really good in Logan.
Yeah.
I think she was phenomenal for like having like no dialogue. She was phenomenal in Logan. Go ahead.
I saw a thing where the director was talking about when they were doing casting for Logan, and she was doing her screen read with Hugh Jackman, actually, where there was like kind of like down like the final so many people, and like she was doing this part where she had to break into like an argument with him, and she's like, can I do some of this in like Spanish? Like this little young actor, and
Nice.
And they showed like the clip of him, and they were just going back and forth, and she was like screaming and pointing at the map, like screaming in Spanish, and he's like, it was so good. He's like it's like, we didn't even think about that. It's like, it was fantastic. Like, she brought this whole idea, and like, it was really good. He's like, yeah, we casted her.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's actually really good. So there's a real minor tangent. I want to come back to Deadpool Wolverine is.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Have you ever heard about the movie? It's book series called The Golden Compass.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, there's a series. I think it's on HBO, and she stars in it.
Oh,
really would recommend it. Like her acting.
What is it called? Dark something? Dark
Materials.
Dark Materials. Yeah.
And she's the lead. She is phenomenal. So if you appreciate her acting, she definitely delivers on that. Really good series. Highly recommended. Deadpool Wolverine. Love the cameos. I don't think we should spoil many of them because I feel like that's a big part of it is cameo reveals.
Yeah, it was like, I'm like, oh, like he's in it. Yeah, so yeah, I won't ruin any except that she was in it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But she was in the trailers too, so they kind of spoiled some of that stuff in some of the trailers, much to Ryan Reynolds' chagrin. Love those cameos. I thought Hugh Jackman killed it.
Oh, dude, he was amazing. How old is he?
I don't know.
He's gotta be like 50 something.
Oh, older than that, I think.
Like I'm gonna say 55.
Shit, dude, 56.
Okay, all right. Dude is in impeccable shape.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know how much like CGI,
right?
Yeah, but I don't think it was all computer. It was ripped, dude.
I feel like with his transition, because he's a Broadway actor. Like I feel like with his transition into the action movies, he probably knows. He probably has the trainers. He probably knows what it takes to get ripped.
Just eating chicken and veggies, no sugar,
right?
Working out like a beast.
Know what? Well, I feel like he's a man dedicated to his craft, right? Yeah. I feel like if you're that good at something and you care that much about something, you probably know how to do that stuff. But yeah, I thought he just killed it. He played so good in that character opposite Ryan Reynolds. He just nailed it. There were so many expressions, things that Deadpool would say, and you just see his facials, and I'm like, I want to know how much of that facial reaction is him.
It's real, yeah.
Right? Because there's some things that Ryan Reynolds says in character that are just like, I mean, they're cringeworthy, right? They're awful jokes. And I just I look at Hugh Jackman, I'm like, okay, was that a Hugh Jackman reaction? Or was that? But there's an overlap there, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you definitely can respond to Deadpool stuff. I love the movie. It was fantastic.
I do hope they have more spin-offs like Deadpool and, enter somebody else, his name. Like,
oh my. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Yep. Nope. Definitely recommend.
Oh, I do have
absolutely
one. I have one more recommendation for a flick that we watched. It just showed up on HBO, and I couldn't sleep the other night, and I fired on it like midnight. It was called Trap. Have you seen this?
Trap? No.
Yeah, TRAP. It was Josh Hartnett, and it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It was really good, dude. It was based. I'm trying to describe without spoiling anything. So, in the movie, they are looking for a serial killer, and through some investigation, they found out that the serial killer has a daughter, and he bought tickets to go to this concert. Well, they end up using this concert as a humongous trap to find him, but they don't know what he looks like. So it was a really cool watch. Like, I enjoyed the whole movie. It was actually really well done. So
wow,
good job, M. Night
Shyamalan.
Is it Shyamalan or
M. Night Shyamalan?
All right.
I do not know the pronunciation. Like the stresses on the first vowel there. I had no idea.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention too in Thanksgiving news, I deep fried a turkey. Did you ever do that?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
And how did that go?
It went fine. I've seen a lot of videos where people pretty much burn their houses down.
Well, yeah, that's exactly where my brain went. Unfortunately, when you said you deep fried a turkey, I'm like, I'm sorry, and you're still here to tell. So
I did it outside.
Oh, well, that's, you know what? Smart move.
Yeah. But no, it was interesting. I will say, I still like the oven turkey better. there was a silver lining to deep frying a turkey. It gets like as crispy as a chicken wing on the outside.
Yeah, I would think so.
So that was pretty great. It also takes like 1 hour to cook. So that's
wow,
good.
as opposed to like the what is it, X minutes per pound?
Yeah, you still follow that rule. Like I think for the oven, it's like 15 minutes a pound or
sounds great.
Something like that.
I always Google it before I cook it, but
yeah. This was between 3 and 4 minutes a pound. So I think I went with 3.5. I kind of hit the middle. Then you got take its temperature before you pull it out. But yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
I still think I like the oven better.
That's all I'm familiar with. I will say, honestly, the turkey that I had on Thanksgiving, very dry.
Oh,
like very, very dry. I put on way too much gravy just to get through the turkey. And of course I'm like parched.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my gosh, that was so much gravy. So now I'm like getting the bouillon and the salt. And I'm like, oh my God. I drank so much water.
Yeah.
I was pounding so much water. Plus I wasn't drinking because I was driving back.
Yeah. I guess that was the other bonus to that too. It was a rather moist turkey, I'll say.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Did all the moisture really lock in because of the reduced cook time?
No, but
I would assume so.
Yeah, but there's a fine line that you can mess up. So once it like reaches temperature, which I think was like 175 or something like that, 180, you got to be done and let it rest. Because we did a preliminary one about 2 weeks before that, and I was like, I'll let it go like another 10 minutes, and it came out drier. It was a little drier, so I screwed up.
Practice turkey?
Yeah, we did a practice turkey.
A practice poultry?
Yeah,
if you will.
Yep. So all right, let's
a bogey bird.
Yes.
You know what's more scary than a dry turkey?
What's that?
Hamsters on a plane.
That is true.
You care to explain this story? Because I'll tell you what, you put the story on the board and I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Honestly, I didn't even, full disclosure, my wife was telling me about this and I was like, oh shit. We were walking somewhere, I think like into Walmart. And I'm like, I have to find this story real quick so I can talk about it. I threw it on here and that's as far as I got.
Oh, would you like me to read it? Because I read it. I did my homework.
Yes,
I'm like,
you read it then, yeah. I read the headline.
Oh, well, okay. So read the headline. This is from CBS News, world tag here. 132 hamsters broke loose on a passenger plane, forcing it out of service for days. So all I could think of when I read this was Samuel L. Jackson. Get these hamsters off my plane. Because I feel like actually hamsters would be harder. They are incredibly, incredibly cunning little mammals at hiding. We talked about ferrets a few episodes back.
Yeah.
And hamsters, same way. I grew up with hamsters instead of ferrets, but they'll go anywhere. Like they're those kind of animals, a bit like rats, right? Where they can like flatten themselves down to a ridiculous degree and fit anywhere. Anyway.
I found my sensor beep, so I can try the.
Oh, well, you can absolutely go ahead and try that.
All right, here we go. All right. I'm tired of these hamsters on this plane.
Nice. I have to get a beep up mine. All right. A Portuguese airline was forced to ground one of its passenger planes last week after discovering that 132 hamsters had escaped from cages in the cargo hold and roaming free throughout the aircraft, according to an aviation news website.
Can you imagine? You're just like sitting there watching a movie, get your headphones on.
Yeah, it comes out.
Yeah,
my God.
Dude, people would probably be panicking. It'd be bad with like one or two. Like, oh my God, there's somebody that a hamster on the plane. But like 100 plus?
132.
Yeah.
It's very precise too. 132 hamsters. So they knew how many hamsters were on that plane to begin with. Someone did a count.
Flying hamsters? Really? Why?
That is the question. The animals were part of a delivery intended for a pet shop, which also included ferrets and birds, according to the Observer News website. No reports of other animals getting free. Yes, it was a 200-passenger airliner that was carrying 132 hamsters, according to everything else. So it does not say how it did it.
Reports by who knows?
Reports by multiple news outlets cited anonymous sources saying baggage handlers first noticed damaged cages after the plane landed and then saw hamsters running in the cargo hold.
So they weren't like up in the like airplane.
That's disappointing. They found this after the fact. That's
the whole time in my mind. I'm thinking like snakes on a plane. Like people are panicking, trying to open up the door. Like some like shit's going on.
Just go pouring out. Like that scene in The Mummy where the little bugs come out. Like I'm picturing like a swarm of or actually Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark with the rats in the catacombs, if you could picture that when they were in the lower level there.
I like the Mummy reference better. I like the Mummy reference.
The Mummy reference is good. See, it's so funny. Scarabs. I didn't tell you what movie that was. I'm like the little scarab. Like, yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That story's not as fun as I thought. Damn it.
No. Go into your next story though, because that's pretty funny and sad.
Wait, which
the
one?
Banana?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, yeah, this is something else. All right, so we talked about artwork actually not too awful long ago.
Yeah.
And kind of our general consensus was, how do people why do people pay so much money for what we would consider to be a non-talented, piece of artwork? Like they're putting garbage together and selling it for a lot of money. So in this article, it says a banana duct taped to a wall sells for 6.2 million at auction. That is correct. Is that the right number? 6.2 million?
6.2 million US dollars. That is correct.
All right.
And it is literally, folks, for our listeners, a banana. Typical banana.
Yeah, it looks like
yellow.
Got a little
browning. Oh yeah, it's got some age to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a piece of duct taping it to the wall.
That's it. They literally ripped off a piece of duct tape, held the banana against the wall, put tape on it, and sold it for $6.2 million. Why? Oh my God. All right. So the story says, I get a little heated about this. Let's see. Actually, did you read any of this yet?
Well, first of all, this is a Sotheby's auction. So Sotheby's is like world renowned auction house. This isn't like a joke auction, right? This is Sotheby's is like they would like this would be where you would sell the Mona Lisa, right? If it were going to sell in New York City, like this is not.
They also called the title of this the title of this banana was called Comedian.
Yeah.
So it says Mr. Sun said comedian, quote, represents a cultural phenomenon that bridges the worlds of art, memes, and the cryptocurrency community. Yeah, these people are lost in their own minds.
They are. They're just pissing money with. It started. Here's the funny thing. It started at $800,000.
Yeah, started.
It started, and it ended up at 6.2 million.
Dude, we need to get into the art community.
We don't need to get into the art community. We just need to duct tape produce to the freaking wall.
Yeah.
Sold.
And then the guy that bought it ate it right afterwards.
Yep. Yeah. It must be nice to have $6.2 million of eating money. Oh my gosh.
He paid all that money and then just ate the banana. Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Why? I mean, I know it's just going to rot anyways, but maybe that's part of the allure of the art. Like, I don't know.
This is actually infuriating. This is actually mildly infuriating.
It is.
That's a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. That is an absolute ton of money.
It's just insane.
Like $100,000 is a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money.
Yeah. 20 grand is a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And you're going to piss. Like this guy must have some serious disposable income. He's just going to drop 6.2 mil on a banana. Wow. This guy, I don't even want to say. I'm going to find him and I'm going to sell him something.
Right? Yeah. I'd be like, I got an apple. I got an apple with some scotch tape.
I'll string together those, like, remember those popcorn things you used to make for your Christmas tree? I'll hold one up and be like, how much?
It goes for extra if you interlace cranberries every so often. Did you ever do that?
Yeah. And then we'll just drape it on a piece of wood and hang it on the wall and put starting price, $1 mil.
$1 mil.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Like, we're done. I was going to throw this popcorn out.
Oh my gosh.
God. So, hey, did you find anything for national days? Or for anything else?
Did. So one of them is particularly of interest to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, let's see here, it is Wednesday, December 4th, so coming up, and is National Cabernet Franc Day.
Of course.
So Cab Franc is actually my personal favorite red wine. But I bring this up mainly because, interestingly, so I tried a brand new grape varietal on Thanksgiving.
Oh, did you?
Yes, it's a Cabernet Blanc. So we have, Cabernet Sauvignon is a pretty well-known Cab Sauv, or whatever you want to call it, red wine.
Is it Blanc? Is that white?
Blanc is a white. Yes,
okay.
This is a newly grown strain of grape called a Cabernet Blanc. So it derives off of the Cabernet grapes, but it's a white grape.
So it's a white Cabernet.
It is a white Cabernet, and it's actually pretty good. So I did have some of that, but I saw Cabernet Franc Day is coming up, and is without a doubt one of my favorite red wines. So that's coming up on December 4th. I will probably be buying a bottle of it just to celebrate that day.
Okay. So I'm ignorant to the wine world. Generally, Cabernets are reds, right?
Yes.
Is that what makes this one kind of unique? I'm assuming then.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Cabernet Blanc is a very unique because it is a white wine based on the Cabernet strand, and Cabernet Franc is a very good red wine that I like, which is in the Saint-Emilion region of France. I know I sound totally pretentious right now, but I love it because it's just such delicious wine.
Yeah. So what else is on this list? Is there anything that you think?
Is there anything better on this list?
No, better. I mean, like, is there something absolutely ridiculous?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Thursday. What's on Thursday?
December 5th is international, not just national. International Ninja Day.
Yes, dude. Yes. Oh, what day is that? You say Thursday?
It's Thursday the 5th.
I am celebrating this day somehow. I'll run around my neighborhood, which is pretty spread out. Probably get shot.
You start to wear a balaclava, cover up your face. Yeah, you might get in your neck of the woods. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get shot. That's awesome. I always said that it would be really funny to do that as a joke, like in the middle of the day, to like just run around, like a ninja, like through the neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
and then quickly like escape somewhere, take it all off, and just walk around and nothing happen. Just to see the police reports. You know how funny that would be? All the phone calls. You see cops coming around the neighborhood, like, you see a ninja running around here? I'm like, nope.
No. What are you talking about?
Oh my God. You got like a samurai sword poking out of your bag.
Absolutely. Just run, just go through. And so interestingly, I had a similar experience when we already talked about it, I won't go into it, but when I had the demonstration at the Cavs game, I had to park quite a ways away because the parking close to the event was like $60.
Did you run across the top of the trees?
I wish I could. I wish I had that kind of skill. No, but I had to park like basically across downtown, right? I had to like walk like several blocks, and I'm in full uniform.
Oh,
and I'm just the heads that turn.
It's like you're like bring it with you and change in the bathroom.
No, because we performed in the lobby. We were told to show up in uniform.
Like, because by the way, you have to walk like 4 city blocks.
That was what it was too. And I'm sitting there watching, like, well, this is going to be interesting. And sure, I mean, it's weird. It is really weird walking through downtown metro area.
Did you at least walk with like your wife? Was she with you, or was it just you?
My kid was with me.
Okay, all right. So at least you had somebody with you. Because if you're just walking solo, yeah.
I have my 14-year-old with me. I'm gonna call him 16-year-old. He wishes he was 16. I have my 14-year-old with me. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get some looks, dude. So, and sure enough, they were like, your head's turning. Okay. Yeah, it was a little bit surreal. So I can imagine what that would be like in like full ninja costume, right?
Yeah. There was this kid,
etc.
There was this guy who lived in this apartment complex up around the corner from our old house in town. And we used to refer to him as Karate Kyle because he was
like my kind of guy.
Yeah. Well, he would be out in the parking lot of this apartment complex and just doing just karate moves with nobody, at nobody, by himself for hours. Like Like we'd pass by him on the way out to Walmart. It was like, like a 20-minute trip. You're in Walmart for, 45 minutes, come back. He's still there when you get back. Like just shadow boxing, shadow kicking. It was kind of funny. But when I say kind of funny, it's kind of funny because I feel like there might be something wrong with him. But he really enjoyed himself. So that could be you, Breeze. You could have just shadow kicked your whole way to the stadium.
You know what? Next time I will.
There you go.
I'll just, I'll just start punching and kicking my whole way downtown Cleveland.
People would have been like more sympathetic, probably. Like
probably.
Oh, look at this guy. Oh my God, that's funny. You should have held out like a bucket.
Oh right, yeah. No, I had places to be, man. I was actually kind of hauling it because I was like,
stepping.
Why did I park so far away? It was like, oh my gosh, I got to run. Like I was like, oh yeah, I'll park right across the street. I roll in. I'm like, $60. Nope. My kid's like, no, that's a lot of concession money. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
60. Like, yeah, don't get me started, man. It's insane. It's so bad. I bitched one episode for probably, I don't know, 10 minutes because we had to pay $80 to park for a Steelers game.
Oh my gosh. Well, the NFL is probably even more.
Oh, dude, it was so bad. Like the
worst was we had when we had the Guardians, the baseball team were in playoffs and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, those playoff games! Like the world's
$100 to park your car.
$120 some of the lots. $120 just to park.
Why is that even a thing?
Captive audience, right? Like supply and demand. There's only so many parking spots in downtown Cleveland.
Okay, but no. There's only so many parking places, but everybody still manages the park. It's just extortion is all it is.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. It's not like there's 17 parking places and everybody else in the world has to bus in. Like there's lots of places to park.
But you know what? Those lots are full.
Yeah, they just bend you over. They are.
The market will bear it, right? Like that's kind of how it works, unfortunately.
Yeah. When it's like $80 and you have like 4 buddies with you, it's like, all right, everybody kicking $20. Like it's not as bad.
Yes.
But when you're like the sole person who's paying for it and everybody else isn't, like I'm like $80. That sucks.
Oh no. Yep.
Yeah. So all right, well, let's wrap this one up. That was fun, Breeze. Good. Thanks for jumping on so late.
You too.
And thank you guys all for checking us out for another one, and we'll see you next Monday. That was very radio, Dave. All right, later.